What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this unofficial video journal. Today is October 16th. It's exactly a month since I've had my Invisaligns installed. Like I said, I'm doing a journal of experiences with Invisalign, so I can kind of track how this is going, and maybe share that with a wider audience. So anyways, if you guys remember the very first time, I kind of had a little bit of a panic attack. The panic attack, I think it just kind of was because I was experiencing like excessive saliva in my mouth, and the words I was still not used to properly pronouncing. So words like Samsonite.
I was way off.
Eventually, as you can hopefully tell, that has improved. Although I can kind of detect a little bit of a lisp on words that start with the letter S. And words that have a sh sound, SH.
Those are a little interesting to pronounce, if you don't mind me saying so.
I honestly did not want to do a journal about my experience after 1 week, because at that time I was still wearing the same braces. Right now I'm on tray number 2, so here we go. I know some of you guys asked me personally what my experience was like during the procedure. The procedure was actually quite non-invasive.
Let's take a look at that mouth.
I don't know how else to call it. It's not like we were drilling or anything like that. Although that reminds me. So number one, you're gonna get attachments, and attachments are little tiny enamels that are placed on the surface of your teeth. Depending what kind of work, or depending on the extent of the work that you need, you might get more or you might get less attachments, and also depends on where exactly, front, back, side, where they might be placed. As you can tell, my bottom, I have plenty of attachments. I felt like I was in a Oprah Winfrey show where my dentist was just like, you get an attachment, you get an attachment, pew, 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 pew. So I won, all right? Anyways, procedure number 2 that I found very unusual was the filing. Because my bottom teeth are so crowded, right? They're kind of like, some are kind of overlapping or kind of moving towards each other. In order for the Invisaligns to actually straighten out the teeth correctly, my dentist had to file, literally, with like a little piece of sandpaper in between my teeth. So imagine like having a floss, but it's much wider. It's about 1/4 of an inch wide of a floss, and it's made up of high grit sandpaper. So he was moving pretty much like for about like 3, 4, or 5 of my teeth. So I felt every single movement, every single stroke of that sandpaper, and oh man, that did not feel good. And that was on the very first procedure. The second procedure, he said, hey, I need to follow up with that filing, and he used a tool. It was almost like a little tiny rotary sander. And that took less than 2 minutes altogether. The first time around, as we were installing the Invisaligns, I think that seemed like it was 30 minutes of just sanding away. Ugh, that hurt. And it made my mouth sore. Yeah, that was definitely meh. Anyways, let's get back to the pros and cons, all right? Let me start off with the bad first. After getting the trays installed twice now, I've experienced a headache and mouth soreness or teeth soreness for about 72 hours. But after the first 72 hours, it feels like I'm back to normal, and the only difference is obviously you're having to deal with the trays, but that's fine. That's the premise of all of this. As for teeth feeling sore, during that 72-hour period, eating foods that are tougher, think like steak, chicken, it's not like that it's hurting my teeth, and predominantly it's on the bottom because that's where I think the most work needs to be done. It's the fact that it just feels weird. It feels like, I almost want to say that feels like my teeth are moving, but I know for a fact they're not because I'm not feeling any sort of teeth movement.
So, not a big fan of that.
It just feels weird, not necessarily in love with that. So I'll tell you that. Overall, I want to say that's about it for the cons. I mean, headaches, and teeth soreness for 3 days. So let's get to the pros. All right, mouth hygiene improvement. Oh man, this is good. So normally I'm used to maybe washing or brushing my teeth, 3 times a day after each major meal, or in between meals, if you will. But now I'm more like 5, 6, 7 times a day. And hear me out. I want to make sure that I don't have any sort of cavities developing while I have my Invisalign in. Number 2, I've noticed that there's a large amount of, even though I don't have any drool happening like I did on the first day, there's a large amount of spit that collects, or saliva that collects in between the teeth and the actual and the actual Invisalign. So I want to make sure that that's nice and fresh. The benefit of all of this is my breath has been fresh for a long time. So throughout the day, I can almost feel like, oh yeah, my breath feels quite nice and refreshing. Although we're in COVID, so I have a mask on, so it's not like I'm interacting with people and they can tell that. So, whatever. But it's awesome. So let's see, last but not least, quite surprisingly, a pro of having, Invisaligns has been weight loss. Nothing excessive, but I've lost about 5 to 6 pounds, right? So in a matter of a month, I've dropped 5 to 6 pounds without any excessive working out. And I think it's attributed to I'm not snacking as much, nor am I drinking soda as much, because obviously you shouldn't be drinking soda while you still have Invisaligns in. And me in particular, I'm used to having some, as I like to call it, snacksidents. No, I'm sticking to eating just 3 times a day as necessary, and drinking water. Predominantly, I'm drinking water. So I've dropped 5 pounds, which, I'm not complaining. Trying to look good for the summer of 2021, you know what I mean? But other than that, guys, I think the first month has been, like I said, there were some ups and downs there. Nothing too crazy, nothing excessive, no incidents whatsoever. So if you do have any questions, whether it's questions about the cost of this procedure, or the cost of the Invisaligns themselves, the installation and all of that, feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk about that. If you have any questions about the progress, or if you have any questions about the attachments and what they look like, I'll be more than happy to share that as well. So thank you very much. I will follow up once again, hopefully next month. At that point, that should get me to tray number 4 if we're right on track. So you guys have a great day, stay safe, and take care, everybody. Bye.